Alright, back with another album review. Today's review is on One More Light, Live by Linkin Park. It's a live album from Linkin Park. It was recorded throughout 2017 during the European leg of the band's One More Light World Tour. The album was produced by Mike Shinoda and co-produced by Joe Hahn. It was mixed by Ethan Mates and mastered by Michelle Mancini. The album was released on December 15th, 2017 on Machine Shop Records and distributed by Warner Brothers Records. One thing I need to mention is that this is the first material that Linkin Park released after the untimely death of Chester Bennington, meaning this is a posthumous release. Even though the title of the album is One More Light Live, only half the songs are live versions from the album One More Light, which I talked about last time. There are 3 songs in particular where Chester is on guitar. Not everyone knows this, but Chester occasionally served as an additional rhythm guitarist for Linkin Park, both in studio and during live shows. And I think that's pretty awesome. That being said, let's discuss the songs. The sound starts with Talking to Myself. In my last review, I mentioned this is one of the songs that was originally on One More Light. The song itself is okay, and we're only getting started. Up next is Burn It Down. The original version of the song is on Living Things from 2012. And I think it's one of the best songs on that album. Not only that, but I think it sounds awesome live. What's interesting is that Brad Delson is on the synthesizer for the song despite the fact that he's the band's lead guitarist. Next up is Battle Symphony. This is the second One More Light song on this album. It's also the first of 3 songs from this album where Chester is on guitar. In my previous review, I mentioned this is my favorite song from One More Light. Next song is New Divide. This song stands out because it was never released on any of Linkin Park's studio albums, but was recorded for the soundtrack to the movie Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. I honestly have never seen any of Michael Bay's Transformers movies, nor do I intend to. You know the critics hated Revenge of the Fallen. The song was critically acclaimed, and it was released as a single on May 18th, 2009. It's also one of my all-time favorite Linkin Park songs. A music video was made for the song. There's going to be a link in the description. I'd like to say that the live version is just as amazing as the studio version. After that is Invisible. I went into detail about the song during my last review, and I think it sounds better live. We follow up with Nobody Can Save Me. It's another song that I went into detail with during my previous review. Again, the live version is better than the studio version. It's also the second song on this album where Chester is on guitar. That's followed up by One More Light. What we have here is another song that I talked about during the previous review. Also shares the same title of that same album. What comes next is Crawling. The original version of the song is on Hybrid Theory. However, I should mention is that Chester decided to do this solo and it was on the keyboard while the crowd was singing along. That was interesting to hear, to say the least. After that is Leave Out All the Rest. The song first appeared on Minutes to Midnight, and it's interesting to hear a live version. Next song is Good Goodbye. I talked about the song during my last review, and I said Stormzy was featured on it. On top of that, Stormzy actually joined Linkin Park on stage for the performance. Next up is What I've Done. The original version is on Minutes to Midnight. Up next is In the End. The song first appeared on Hybrid Theory and is still one of Linkin Park's most popular songs. After that is Sharp Edges. I talked more about the song during my previous review. Also, it's the third and final song on this album where Chester was on guitar. We follow up with Numb. The first appearance of the song was on Meteora. It's another one of the band's most popular songs. It's also really cool hearing a live version of it. What comes next is Heavy. It's the last song that I talked about during my previous review. This album ends with Bleed It Out. The original version is on Minutes to Midnight. And one thing I noticed is that none of the songs on this album are from 1,000 Suns or The Hunting Party for some reason. Anyways, this album peaked at number 28 on the US Billboard 200. number 2 on the US top alternative albums and top hard rock albums, as well as number 3 on the US top rock albums. From what I read is that this album was mostly met with positive reviews. Well, it's been received much better than One More Light. When it comes to my opinion, I think this seemed better than One More Light. Personally, I think the live versions of the One More Light songs are better than the studio versions. I need to mention this album in particular was actually dedicated to Chester Bennington. And you can see what it says right there. You can pause the video to read it. Now, the thing is that it's just sad that Chester ended up taking his own life back in 2017. But fans like myself continue to honor his legacy by listening to his music. On top of that, Great Days released 2 albums featuring audio from Chester that was originally recorded back in the 90s. And I already reviewed both of those albums. I recommend checking out this album. Now's the part where I question you. Have you listened to One More Light live? If so, what do you think about it? What's your favorite song from it? And I think this album compares to One More Light. What other songs do you think Linkin Park should have included on the album? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. If you like the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to press the notification bell to notify future uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video.